think it's essential that we take this fight against fascism seriously, because it's not about morality, it's about preventing the next atrocity now. I believe in punching Nazis. I think it's effective. I also think it's a fun day out for all the family, but not everyone is going to feel comfortable with pursuing that kind of action, and there needs to be other things that they can participate in. The problem with anti-fascist movements is that we've been happy for too long to be marginal. We've treated it like a subculture. We've not thought about how we take it mainstream and how we make it something that everyone wants to be involved with in some capacity. We like to name drop the Black Panthers on the left, but we don't actually look at what they did. We either see them as the romantic guns and beret people, or we start looking at what they did as a form of radical social work, like the school breakfast programs or sickle cell testing, whereas actually the range of their political activity was a lot more complex, broad and textured than that. The Black Panthers were not an identity politics movement, they were a liberation politics movement, and that's something that's very different. Two, they worked with the most vulnerable and marginal people in society, tenants who are being screwed over by landlords, victims of police brutality. They also did a hell of a lot of work in prisons. And then what the Black Panthers also did was pursued a diversity of tactics, from insurrectionist tactics to later on standing for office. And we need to be thinking about anti-fascist organisation in that way, thinking about it in its entirety, map it out and start committing bodies to each segment of it. We can't wait for the far right to make the first move, call a march, and then we just go to oppose it. Anti-fascism has to be lived and pursued every single day, every step of the way. We should think about it as a territorial war, and we're clawing it back neighbourhood by neighbourhood, city by city, until the far right find that they've got nowhere to go. I was in Italy a few weeks ago, and what was interesting to me is that I saw Salvini propaganda everywhere, and it looked so innocuous. It was stuff like celebrations of regional culture, food festivals, family days out, and they were really embedded in the community. And alongside that, I saw swastika graffiti. I saw graffiti in English saying "defend your homeland," and it was really frightening, the way in which people's eyes glazed over such obvious signs of hatred because there was a respectable face of the far right. And it makes it really hard for the left to make political arguments successfully in such a context, because Salvini's vision is bloody. He wants street-to-street ethnic cleansing of Roma, but people don't give a shit because he's a friendly neighbourhood kind of guy and they see it in their neighbourhoods every day. So the left need to be seen in neighbourhoods every day. We need to look like the kind of people that are capable of bringing a community together, and that's how we will then win those political arguments. Morality alone isn't going to cut it. If Momentum want to be anything other than the progress of the left dedicated to getting their man in power, they need to start doing this kind of community work, which isn't directly related to getting people out to vote Labour. We might be waiting 4 years for a general election, we also might not win it, but even if we were nailed on for a win, we need to think about what's the political terrain that Corbyn is going to inherit. What I do think can really help is looking at projects like fans supporting food banks in Liverpool. Their slogan is "Hunger doesn't wear club colours," and it's a way of bringing together Liverpool and Everton fans, and then they coordinate food collections and distributions through local mosques. I think that's a phenomenal way to bring people together. Austerity has exacerbated racialised outcomes, but fundamentally, hate won't put food on the table. Packy bashing doesn't feed your kids. Declining wages are affecting all of us. The left needs to stop fighting each other. We need to have a sense of scale, a sense of perspective, and realise that these are fights that we can win. This isn't some noble but essentially doomed undertaking of like one last hurrah before we all get fucked. We are in a better position in the UK than any other European country to defeat the far right, and that is down to Jeremy Corbyn. We just need to like fuck off all this trifling shit and work on priming the political terrain for him to win in number 10, and for us to hold the far right at bay long enough for them to be ultimately destroyed by a progressive economic platform. That's what we've got to do.